And we are live. Wednesday night with those guys, and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys. What's going on, everyone? It is Wednesday night. Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys. It is the middle of the week, hump day. And how is everyone doing out there? How's everyone's week been going so far? You know, I hope everyone has been able, if you got good weather in your area, you've been able to get out and fly. Here in New York, we haven't had it so good for a few days. We've got a lot of wind, we got rain off and on, and it's been bad here and there. Hey, Matt, well, what's good, man? But Lawrence, how's it going with you today?
I'm good, man.
But you don't worry about it, you know.
I'm good, man. It's raining. It's been raining all day, or most of the day. It just started hitting the ground this afternoon. According to them, it started at 11, but it just started raining out here where I'm at. But I'm good. Johnny Drone Flyer, Matt Bagwell, Jody, One Visionary here, SJM Drones. Good evening to all you guys. Happy hump day. I'm doing good, Herman. I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm happy. I get to finally maiden her Wayne B. Hopefully whenever the Sundam comes out, but I'm ready to go. I even moved the camera forward. It's still behind the cage, but I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
I hear you. I hear you. Ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. What's good with you?
You know, I same old thing. You know, I'm just doing my thing here and there. Doing, you know, I do a lot. I do a lot of work, but it's not so much that it's drone related, but it's not.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You know.
I understand. I do understand.
You know what I'm doing.
It's called life. You have things in life you have to get done.
No, but you know what I mean. I mean, as far
What's
as
up, Gary? Leonard?
Things. I talk to a lot of people. Sometimes too many people.
Well, all I can say is it's for the future, so it's worth it. You know, you're grinding now, so it could maybe be a little easier a little later on down the road.
It all turns gray.
Huh?
Before it all turns gray, you know?
Hey, that's why I decided to shave mine off. I got tired of looking at the gray.
Gary, it was good, man.
Or at least until it gets incredibly, Antarctic cold here in New York, where hair on your face doesn't matter. It kind of helps.
Okay.
What's up, everyone out there? Does anyone get a chance to fly? I know if you live, hey, View Chaser, I know if you're in the northeast coast, you got rain today, and snow if you're up north.
Unfortunately.
Up north, they already have snow up there.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I was saying. I mean, they've gotten snow out in the Midwest area too. Especially up north, you know, Michigan area. Quite sure a lot of snow has dropped in those areas. Like I said, we've always had the beauty of keeping, you know, the snow away with our waters don't get that cold, and we're protected by that. And for somehow, I don't know how the weather people could explain it to you better than I can.
Right.
But our water really doesn't get that cold. It's very rare you would ever see in this area the Hudson and all of that frozen.
Right.
No.
Oh yeah. And it would have to be over a long period of cold too. Like you rarely see Jamaica Bay freeze over, but I have seen it freeze over in my lifetime.
Right, because
a few times.
Because that humidity in our area, I don't know what the hell, even in the winter.
Yeah, but if you got a chance, please, thank you. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We got a good stream tonight.
Yeah, we got we got a couple of things, a few things to talk about tonight.
But it's still early. Give you guys a chance to get in here. Did anyone, Herman Phantom Flight, are you dragging Lawrence to South Florida Drone Meetup?
I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to make the South Florida Drone Meetup. I want to go. I'm being honest with you. I have a few family obligations and things that I am trying that I don't think I can swing. Dragging Lawrence with me to the South Florida Drone Meetup. No, I don't. The thing is, like I said, we have something that we have to do after the meetup, and I have something that I had planned. Well, I didn't plan it, fell in my lap during that time.
Right.
So it's kind of hard. I'm trying to swing it. It would be an in and out type of thing, and I'm not driving down there. That's out of the question. My car's driving like, yo, B, what are you doing? We never went this far.
This is true. This is very true. But we all I can say is time will tell. What's up, Ray Kelly? As well.
If things change, I'll definitely be there.
Lawrence, can you tow Herman down to South Florida Drone Meetup? Well, that'd be kind of hard to do, but
what happened?
Gary asks, can I tow you to the South Florida Drone Meetup? The drive to Florida from New York, those days are gone. I used to do it when I was younger.
Yeah,
when I was younger,
I was in trade school.
do it.
I did that when I was in trade school. We my cousin and a couple of friends of mine. You met Steve.
Yeah.
When we went down to Florida, they came and got me after school. I got out of school, like I said, about 7:30.
Right.
We just jumped on the road and started down to Florida. And we just took turns back and forth till we got there. Took turns driving till we got there. Stopped for gas, ate whatever was there.
And keep it moving. Right? Yeah, keep it moving. I told you the guy used to buy cars in Jersey at the Jersey auctions, and because where he lived in Pensacola, Florida, he would come up here. He was a contractor, so I was his apprentice. So in his off time, between jobs, we would go to the auctions here in Jersey and get a car for $3,000 to $4,000. And at that time in Pensacola, Florida, the teenager can get a loan from the bank for about $5,000 to $10,000. So he would buy the car for about $3,000 to $5,000 and then go down there and sell a car for $7,000 to $10,000. As long as the adult signed. So he used to pay me to drive down in 24 hours, which we would stretch to 27, 28. It wasn't no world record or anything. But I survived a year and a half doing that, driving cars back and forth. Well, driving cars from Jersey down there.
I'll be honest with you. I think driving down there would be easier now than back then. And I'll tell you why I say this.
The highways.
Well, not so much the highways, but one of the things that has to do with the highways is the rest stops.
Yeah.
Back then when we drove down, at a certain part of the night, that
it's just road. You better hope.
Stop and get something to eat was mean you got beef jerky and
yeah, you stop
now these rest stops got all kind of stuff going on in there.
It's true. Hey Warren, what's up? It is true, because driving down there back then, and this was over 20 years ago, I could drive there in 20 something hours. And he would pay me. I would sleep for half a day. He'd pay me $1,000 cash and pay for my ticket back to Harlem, because at the time that's where I lived.
Okay.
It was pretty good. I survived a year and a half doing it, man. Until a cop in Georgia told me he notices that I come through his town to stop,
Mhm.
and he notices that I'm in a different car. And he says it's weird because usually people run cars from New York, from the South up north. And I explained to him, and he made it very clear he didn't want to see me again in his town. So I made little detours not to go into his town. He thought I was up to something, and he made it very clear he thought I was up to something because I kept telling him I'm driving this car to Pensacola, Florida. And he's like, well, every other week or every 2 weeks, I see you come through here. You stop at the same rest stop. I said, because this is my last stop. Once I stop here, I'm driving nonstop to Pensacola from that part of Georgia.
Mhm.
He made it very clear. Hey, Jim's droning, that I need to
Good.
stop coming through there with the cars.
Okay.
And if you watch TV
So,
like I do, you take heed to some warnings.
he kicked you off the road.
Well, I detoured around his town.
Honk.
Listen, that's all right. Won't have me hemmed up in some little town. No, I'm good.
Uh-huh.
Warren says I was a usual suspect.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
I
you
know.
was.
A male driving a different car every other week or every two
Uh,
weeks. Jerry Franks, how are you?
yeah, it's something like that. I mean, I guess he wasn't supposed to be. See, that's why my father did not want me to drive down to Florida at all.
I could believe it.
He did not. He was totally against it
Barkley, what's good?
because he told me, he said, "Yo, I just hope and prayed you made it." I said, "What do you mean? I can drive." He goes, "No, that's not what I mean."
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's how it is, unfortunately. We're traveling on the road now. But we got a decent stream tonight. We got a little bit of this to talk about, a little bit of that.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Lawrence, because it seems like drone deploy now is it has now offering support, for autonomous mapping missions for the DJI Mavic 3 Enterprise.
hmm It's
Mm-hmm.
now available.
Yep. You can install it directly to your Mavic 3 Enterprise drone remote.
Turn sharing.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can download it directly now to your remote control for the Enterprise. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you have a 15-day free trial with it on Drone Deploy.
From Amazon, correct?
Well, I
Isn't
don't.
that some
Well, I know
special
you can.
deal?
I know you can. Well, I don't. Amazon does have a deal, but I know if you download it from you know, from Drone Deploy, if you go to their site and download it, you do have a 15-day trial.
Okay, let's see. Let's go to drone deploy while you talk.
So, like I said, Drone Deploy now is supporting it, but there is a deal with Amazon, and if I don't know if you have the link, Lawrence, to it to put the link.
I do have the Amazon link right here.
Okay, you
This
can
is
put
it.
that link in there for guys
This
that
is
want to
one
jump on
way you can
that
get
drone
it,
deploy. Yeah.
provided you have the smart art watch controller now, because
Well,
that's how it.
you can download it to the RC Pro, but
Yes.
you can also download it to your tablet drone deploy.
The Amazon link, of course, is too long.
Is it?
Of course it is, because Amazon has their spiders and everything else, and once you type something in
Wow.
Amazon,
Okay.
this is it right here. Hey, hold on a second, guys. I'll pull it up on screen,
Mhm.
and this is how. Oh, I
What?
was sharing.
Yeah, you
I
are
was
sharing.
sharing already. I copy this, and you can just put this in Amazon, and if you have a Mavic Enterprise, Mavic 3 Enterprise, put
Yeah.
that in Amazon. You can download it from them there,
Well, you
or
can
you
just
can
go to
go
drone.
here. to drone deploy and do it. They want me to sign in under Novice Quad, so I'll sign in under Novice Quad, provided this goes away. Allow drone deploy. They want to know company size, accept all cookies. Damn, come on. What else you want to know? They won't let me close it down. Yeah, they want all your information, your business, company size, and stuff like that. I guess meaning if you are a 107 pilot and you're buying this, you're getting drone deploy for you and or your business, this is the information they want to know. So but this is the link right here.
80 people.
Drone deploy, get started. Hold on. I'll copy that. Stop sharing here and go back to the chat where I can see it and paste it right there. Drone deploy getting started.
Do they charge you more if you want it for like 80 people?
I don't know. I don't think so. I doubt it. Now you're being funny.
No, because then drone deploy, if you share it with your friends, can come down to like
yeah, it would be mad cheap, right? Isn't it $300 and something? How much is it a month? I know Draymond would know. Draymond, if you're here, how much is drone deploy a month? I thought I remember hearing him say he uses it.
I'm just saying, you know, I mean, if you share it with your friends, it could bring the price down.
It could, but then you would also need a DJI Mavic 3 Enterprise and a RC RC Pro controller.
No, all you would need is the company account, and you're locked in the company account. Doesn't matter if you log in from a tablet or a fucking iPad.
So you're saying I could be. So you're saying, hey, Fly Guy Merle. So you're saying I could be in the middle of a job, and then all of a sudden Gary up in Canada signs in, and I get bumped off that job.
No, no. What I'm saying is the company size, everybody in the company is using it, right? So everybody signs into their account on the company's account.
Yeah, I got you. And then everyone has a working version.
Right.
Okay.
And then you and all your friends just pay the bill.
See? You heard it here first.
No, you didn't. I'm just
Once again, hold on.
I'm just saying hypothetically.
Not necessarily. Huh? Hold on. The views and opinions tonight are not necessarily.
Don't mind me. I think too much. You know, I'm just saying hypothetically. You know, if it's just like with cable. People always tried to steal cable, but they never did it the right way.
True.
Just tell a cable company, I got 50 people in my apartment. I need 50 boxes.
You don't need one line.
Then you go get the same coaxial cable and run that line straight down to your friend's apartment, clean across the building, and you're good. You didn't hear it here. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Well, never mind.
Just pay for the extra boxes.
It's true.
Everybody wanted free.
I know. $15 a box. They charge $15 to $17 a box. So come on, you're getting free cable. You can at least pay the $15 to $17. Right? At least.
No, but seriously though, Lawrence, drone deploy, right? They have this. I've checked it out a little bit with drone deploy, and it's not that hard to navigate through their interface. It's really not.
No. I have not checked it out. I have checked out other mapping.
It's really not
software, but I haven't checked out drone deploy.
You know what else is good? The GS Pro.
GS Pro. What do you mean?
From that's the DJI though, but it's only with if you have your favorite people iPad.
Only if you have Apple. Well, they say drone deploy says in order to use their app, naturally the Enterprise comes with the
Right.
DJI Pilot 2 app.
Right.
That's how it comes to run. What Drone
Exactly.
Deploy is saying, you can still use that, but if you want to use Drone Deploy, you can pretty much just disable a force stop DJI Pilot
It's
app
the
and then
same
start
way.
up. Yeah,
It was
Drone
the same
Deploy.
way like with using Lychee. It was the same
Mm-hmm.
way with using Lychee for
Right
your
for the
flight. You'd had to
Hey,
stop
Big Matt, night
DJI
train.
to use the Lychee. Big Matt, night train. You know what? I just cannot get this man's name out of. I can't pronounce it, so I'm just gonna call it like you call it. Show.
Akarasho.
That's how
That's
you
Warren.
pronounce it.
There's
I know
Warren.
who it is.
Akarasho. See, when I first saw the name,
Yeah,
I may have been drinking alcohol.
yeah. I
So it
know
didn't
who he
register
is.
that. After
And I
seeing
speak
it
to him
a
all
few
the time,
thousand times across the
but I
internet,
just can't. It's Akarasho. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
Akirasho,
Akirasho. Okay.
tomato.
Oh, all right. I hear you.
He may not pronounce the I. I have no idea. I have no idea. What's up, Mike? How are you, man? Hope all is well. Gary says his snowblower's electric start, hand warmers, and power
Mhm.
steering. It's like a combine for harvesting snow. Yeah, sounds like you would need something like that up there.
You're doing all right, Gary. But
All right.
Lawrence, you know what? Also, I was looking in what was that Showbie, and I was checking out they have the Amsterdam Drone Week that's supposed to be coming up in about a little over a month, or it's March 21st to 2023 to March 23rd, 2023.
Yes.
Yeah, in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. Yeah. So
Hey, Tony.
I guess if you're in the area, you can check that out. Now I know that who was it was saying they were gonna go.
Who, Steven?
Steven. Yeah, Steven
Steven.
said he was
I was
going.
about to say, because he's in that
Yeah.
part of the hemisphere.
Steven said he was gonna be there.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else
I
is
think
gonna
it's a,
hop
like
on the plane to go.
I think it's like a weekend thing, but they have
It's
Amsterdam drone. It's a
yeah,
whole
it's a
schedule.
couple of days. It's a couple
Yeah,
of days because it's from the what was it, from the 21st to the 23rd.
right. And they
You
have
know.
Amsterdam Drone Week 2023. Then they have
Mhm.
some. They even have it set up for Amsterdam Drone Week 2024. They already got it planned up from what I see. Yeah, the Drone Week global
Let's not get
platforming. Yeah,
ahead of ourselves.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. They're a year out already.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
if you're in the
when this,
Netherlands,
right, it's great because it's a global platform, for them to be able to share knowledge and stuff like that. And, you know, this
well,
and
from
that.
what I see
That
here, the
is.
sponsors that they have,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with any of them. Maybe someone else is. Sun
Mhm.
and Fun Aerospace Expo, Spring
Uh-huh.
Meeting, Aerial Firefighting,
Son,
Aeromart Montreal, and U.S. Aircraft Expos. These are,
uh, they have a Sun and Fun event every year.
I see this in Florida.
Yeah, every year. It's mainly with planes,
Okay,
planes, like regular planes. So,
interesting.
there's a lot of so listen. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I see that both worlds are starting to mix. You say fun and sun. I mean,
Yeah.
there's fun and sun event here every year. Not here, but here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's one thing that's supposed to be happening. But it's what the other thing I was checking out, and we you remember when like what was it, late last year, they had they were talking about the what was the newest, the next product that DJI was going to come out with, and there was all kind of rumors and stuff passing around, and guys were talking about goggles and a motion 2 controller and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then your man was it Deals Drones. Well, Deals Jones had this calendar that came out after, we saw, what was that came, what happened? We saw the beginning of the year, that little Ronin.
The RS Mini 3?
Yeah, the RS3 Mini.
Yeah,
that came out. It's like a smaller version of the newer gimbal that came out. So they took a step back from a gimbal, from the smaller gimbal to in between the Osmo Mobile for the mirrorless camera. And that was a nice little gimbal, because with that, I'll be honest with you, Lawrence, and some of the things that do, and I could see using that gimbal over the gimbal that I already have.
Yeah.
Just solely because of the weight.
Okay.
Honestly, seriously, when
Yeah, I've held yours. Yours is pretty solid.
It get kind of heavy.
Yeah,
yours and that's the small one.
Yeah. So right here, they came out with the Mini 3, but next month,
look
out,
now,
guys.
Right now, is that what's coming out? Is that what we really going to see? And because it's been talked about it, when are we going to see it?
Well, everyone thought that
we only got about a little more than a half a week, right?
Everyone's right. We have half a week before the month is out, and everyone thought they were going to come out with this first, and they hit us with the Mini 3, RS3 Mini. So let's see if they're on schedule, because we know then the next thing is this Inspire 3.
No, I don't know.
Somewhere around July, the Mavic 3S.
Stop it. I don't know how much people really welcome the Inspire 3.
Yeah.
And that's left to be I just listen.
You know what? I have to agree with you, because basically the Inspire 3 to me, what they do with the Inspire 3 here, they're doing with sin lifters now. Everyone's using sin lifters, the 8-prop to carry cameras, they carry rigs.
I get what you're saying. But DJI, regardless of whatever you think, always defies the odds a little bit. What I'm curious to know, though,
DJI needs to come out with a sin lifter. Hint, hint.
What I'm curious to know with DJI is like, okay, with this, I'm sure that there are people who have use for it, and we know people who have the Inspire 2, but I don't really hear too many people crying for it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say crying for, but calling for it. I don't see too many people calling for it anymore. I think it's almost been forgotten for a while now, because even that the Inspire 2 as it is still a great drone for what it's capable of doing.
Yes, people, they're still selling Inspire 2s, trust me.
It's still great quality work with it, so I'm sure that if they came out with something to replace it, they would welcome it. But
well, see,
I don't really hear people crying for it.
Go ahead. I'm typing something in real quick, because from what I'm seeing out there, and this is off the top of my head, I'm pulling this up now, but the Inspire 2 and the Inspire 1, like I said, they're doing it with the sin lifters now.
Right.
And in fact, you can carry more cameras with these sin lifters. Now, the sin lifters are also faster than the Inspire. The Inspire's top speed was 65 miles per hour. The Inspire 2. Here's a sin lifter. They start at 3,700 and go as high as 13,000. But this is your rig right here. I'm not talking about the gimbal holding the camera.
Right. But Right, but once you outfit it, well, what's that? That's I don't know what kind of gimbal that is. I know the Ronin was that the three that the newest one
That's a good question.
that can adapt to almost anything now.
This is a Ronin S2 gimbal.
Okay.
It's a Ronin S2 gimbal. I'm looking at it right
Which
here.
means that the 3 will probably adapt to it with no problem.
Yeah. So
now you're in for that. Now you're in for that camera and DJI system. You might get into it for probably a little bit less when you start weighing the numbers.
True.
Although now don't get me wrong.
Now think about
on the camera that you use on it, because DJI can start to run you a little bit more.
Sin lifter. A sin lifter. Now, Jerry Craig asks, what is a sin lifter?
Now, depending on what's filming, that you'll probably be better off going with that instead of your the Inspire 2.
Your Inspire, and also it's kind of hard to fly an Inspire indoors. You can fly
the Inspire period. That I wouldn't even, that. To be honest with you, the tech is old. I know a lot of guys try to keep it alive because they like
and
it's still a good flying drone. All of these drones fly well, but it's kind of been replaced by a drone that people are talking about replacing.
Right.
It was replaced by the Inspire 2, and people are talking about Inspire 3 now. Why? I don't know. I mean, I don't need an Inspire 3.
Exactly. But apparently there seems to be a market for it. From what I know, everybody that was using Inspires, seriously, Herman, they are using sin lifters. And I know some guys that went straight to sin lifters and have bypassed the Inspires.
No, I understand that. I believe you, because a lot of the
technology.
I'm saying to you, a lot of the stuff that was done in some of these movies.
A lot of these movies.
There's certain things that don't get me wrong. The Inspire can and even some of the drones that we're flying can capture some of the shots that they use.
Exactly.
Believe me when I tell you this. Some of the drones that we use, you know for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we will see. We will see, because
some of the drones that we fly can capture some of the shots that they use.
The same shots that you get with an Inspire. Yes.
Well,
yes.
No, I'm saying even with our Mavic 3s and so forth. And you know what? Speaking about Mavic 3, I just wanted to congratulate you and welcome you into the club of Mavic.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Yes. For those of you who don't know, I've been keeping it a little hush, but I broke down, and I am the proud owner of a Mavic 3 Classic. What's up, Max Air? How are you, man? So thank you, Herman. If you didn't say nothing, I was never going to say anything. Did you believe that?
I almost forgot you had it,
That's good. I've had her about about a week?
Yeah, about a week.
A week now. I've had the Mavic 3 Classic for. Yes, they do say in May, possibly, Gary, an Air 3S. I can pull it back up and show you real quick.
That's rumors, that's speculation, because
this list is speculation.
Here's a funny thing on that. We would think that that DJI is like one of the few companies that do this, but everyone does the same thing. Everybody wants to talk about Apple and this, that, the other. Everyone does. Nike does the same thing. They put out.
They're testing the waters
like that. Who else? The computer industry does the same thing. They all do.
Graphics companies. The graphics card companies.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The whole computer industry, they all do it. They all do it. They put it out there. They put something out there. They put a little get the people tasting, and then next thing you know, it's a frenzy.
Yeah,
and they all do it, and they have their people that they do it, and they do it with, and the next thing you know it, they announce that this thing is coming out, and for some god unknown reason, 800 people who kept quiet about it, the whole trip that they all went on, never said anything about it.
yeah, I remember you told me that. I remember you mentioned that to me. They all got cameras and all this gear, and nobody out of those 800 people said anything, right?
It
They were
seemed like
invited
it's
from
about
around the
800
world.
people. Oh, is that Stevie? Stevie!
Stevie, what's good, man? God bless America. How are you?
Oh,
Capture
God
Life
bless America.
Connection.
What's
What's
going
good,
on?
man? Hope
Tony,
all is well. I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't see. I was in another window, but I'm glad that you came through. Um,
you know what?
since Herman kind of blew me up, I might as well say yes. I do have a Mavic 3
Well,
Classic
we
now.
were talking about the Mavic 3, and I just remembered that you had one. I almost forgot about that. But that is the thing, the Enterprise, they
It
got.
is official. It's definitely official. I have the garter belt and all,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
you got the
So
garter belt on it.
yeah, the little
You got to get rid of that.
pull
You,
down in the
you,
rear. I
you got to
I
get
feel like I'm stripping this thing when I'm taking it off, man.
you got to get rid of that and get the belt that holds the propellers together, and the
And the
plastic
front
face
piece.
mask.
I already ordered the one piece face gimbal holder and camera
Yeah.
protector. I ordered that already
I don't know how
for her.
much camera protector it is.
And I'm waiting for my bag
It
to
rubs.
come as well.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, I have to have a bag for it. I was slumming it this weekend. Well, when you saw me last, I was slumming it. I had the backpack, but now I'll actually have an official bag for it. So,
Okay. Excuse me.
what's good, everyone? Happy Hump Day. Thanks, Fly Guy Merrill. Um, to be honest, I
I
was
gotta have
actually
a backpack and a hard case for every drone that I have.
I noticed that. But did you
I
say you
got
have a garter
have to.
belt? That no, Barkley got jokes.
Here we go. Here we go.
Barkley.
Yeah, he's got a garter belt on his drone.
Yeah, on my drone, yes, my drone is actually wearing one. But I'm dying to get out and fly with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dying. The weather's been shit.
Oh.
I mean, we did some local work. That was about it. You and I did some local work, and that wasn't really work for us. But it was work. Work is work, I guess.
You listen.
Don't say no to nothing.
Listen. It's winter time. You hungry? You don't want to be hungry.
You're right about that. You're right about that. The fact that we could fly drones in the winter is a plus.
Listen.
No?
Stop before it snows. Stop before we get a snowstorm, man.
Yeah, I know. I
Heavy
know. I gotta
winds.
stop it. I don't care. I'm going out in that bitch. I'll put a raincoat on it.
Where do you get that? Because the only person that
I don't know. I was just saying it facetiously. I'm trying
just
to be
because
funny.
does he have a drone tailor or something like that for makes these raincoats?
I don't know. You just put the drone up and they measure it from folding joint to folding. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I lucked up
Or
and
is
got
it
a hard
just for the
case for
Phantom?
the Mavic 3 for $25 after discount. Damn.
Whoa. Okay.
Hard case for a Mavic 3 for $25 after discount? Really?
Whoa.
Interesting.
I
In
got
fact,
I
Herman, I
got
need
one
to.
free after 2 phone calls.
Yeah, Herman.
No,
In fact,
no,
you
I
got
just
to stop.
no.
No,
It was. I made a friend in the whole
I
thing.
was just getting ready to say I need you to speak to your boy at Nanook because I still have my 915 case. I'll have them cut me a foam for the Mavic
If
3, and I'll
for the
use that 915
915,
case. Yeah, I'll use the 915 case.
you know what? I'm gonna tell you how that the whole
Then I'll
thing works.
just take the foam out from the Air 2S and put in the
Let
Mavic
me
3
see.
when I
Let me
need
see
it.
if I can. Let me see if I can explain to you how this works.
That's your cash cow?
Well, the company, right? They have plastic cases.
Drone
That's
X
the thing. Is the
will
plastic
get you.
case. The whole Nanook thing is the foam. The foam is the case.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I know.
understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so the cut of the so when you get the foam cut,
Mm-hmm.
that's just basically about the same price as buying the case.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. So I
Check
might as well
out
get
the name of
so I
the
might as well
company is Plastic Cases, bro.
right. Yeah,
They
I
have
know.
cases galore. It's just
So I
what
might
do
as
you want
well
in it?
right. I might as well get the case and have them throw the foam in for the price of it. Yeah, I get it.
Right.
And
So
plus it would make for traveling.
what
Let's
I'll do
see.
is I'll contact them and see if I can get you a coupon code.
That'll
Or
work
see,
too.
or see,
That
or tell them, I'll see. I'll see. I'll figure out something. I'll tell them something. I mean, I'll be honest with them and tell them that give me a coupon code.
yeah, right? Yeah, he
Throw
should.
it around. See if you can get one. Throw it my way. But anyhow, um, Amazon, they seem to be cutting and slashing. And I'm not talking about prices. I'm talking about people. Not in the well, there's no other
Not in
way.
a bad way.
There's nothing but a bad way when you're talking about layoffs.
True.
18,000 jobs. Now
Well,
that's really nothing really. I mean, I shouldn't say nothing, but that's in the amount of numbers, that's nothing for Amazon.
right.
18,000.
Considering they have so many
You know, right.
employees worldwide.
Exactly. And you're talking
Yeah.
about you're talking about, this is the drone. They talk about their drone platform. So, I mean, unfortunately, it seemed like it just got started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they're laying off, they got, we'll get, that the layoffs that they have will get
Mm-hmm.
hits to the Amazon Prime team, and, it's funny because with this Amazon Prime and what they've come from with the Amazon Prime, it started out with they just had talks about it for a long time. And we've seen it, we've seen them and we've talked about it for a
Mm-hmm.
minute before it even took off, and they even consulted with a lot of people in how to get this started, you know, and they were one of the first companies to start, drone delivery. And everyone thought it was, and said it was a novelty and it'll never happen. It's not going to go. It's never going to happen. And then you know what? Maybe it was too soon. Maybe it was rushed. I don't know. I don't know what anybody else may think about it, but they had, steps to take this, thing, make it possible because they, really they stepped out of what they normally do. Basically, is shipping and handling of other people's products and some of the stuff they actually handle.
Right.
Because I don't know if you ever purchase on Amazon, if you look real good, a lot of times Amazon will ship someone else's stuff. That's mainly how it works. And then you have these other third parties who ship their own stuff, and
Right.
that's when it really gets out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Don't we call them laser shit?
no, that believe it or not, those come everyone. It's a whole thing with Amazon, and none of those drivers that you see work for Amazon. Even with the Amazon trucks, none of those guys work for Amazon. They're independent. They're companies. They work for companies that are independent contractors for Amazon.
Right.
Yeah, they don't. Those people don't work for Amazon. They're independent contractors.
Okay.
Yeah, you are responsible for the maintenance and everything on your truck, and if the truck is a piece of crap, it's on you, bro. And then the low budget guy gets the cheapest truck. So without saying,
right.
but they stepped out of what they normally do to be able to make this happen. They had to create a drone that can deliver the product that they want to be able to deliver and meet all of the regulatory standards and how things change and this stuff like that. So they had to come up with something to make that happen, right? And this is what they did. So I don't know. Like
What's
I said,
up, TJ?
maybe they rushed it.
I don't think so. You know what I think, and I'm going to be honest about this, and I could
Well,
play the views and opinion disclaimer and all of that, but I'm going to give my honest opinion. What I honestly think Amazon did. While doing this drone rush, they needed to hire as many techies and white collar workers they could to get the research and the footwork done. Now that they have a drone that can deliver. Okay, and this is just me personally. Now that they have a drone that can deliver items and stuff, now it's time to make cuts to budget so we can build and make some more drones. That's just me personally.
I kind of understand what you're saying, but I just look at with stringent regulatories from the FAA and technology evolving and stuff like that, with them trying to keep pace and still be able to develop this program. Listen, we've seen the program have ups and downs because they had layoffs before, right? Didn't they? They had layoffs before because it was in, what was it, Wired magazine? What was it, back in, was it 21? Well, Wired magazine said that the whole company was disorganized over in the UK. The was disorganized in the UK.
They didn't know what the hell they were doing. Yeah.
Right. So with that going on, you say now mid 2022, and I tell you right now, mid 2022, you talking about a company just coming out of the pandemic that made a lot of money while people were sitting at home.
Amazon was the only Amazon, Alibaba,
not only
companies
Amazon,
like that.
right? Because like even
shipping
Zoom,
company, yeah.
Zoom took off, right? Zoom made a lot of money. The guy that owns that became a billionaire during the pandemic. Why? Because people were home.
Yeah.
And Amazon made a lot of money while people were home during the pandemic. So Amazon, I guess, thought that they could strut their stuff and spend some money and push the drone program. And I don't think that Amazon is going to really listen. It's not up to me to say,
right?
But it's up to them, But now we got layoffs in the program again, right? And CNBC and Bloomberg report, is talking about the layoffs and the hits to the Amazon is not is for the entire organization. You're talking about design, maintenance, system engineering, flight testing, and flight operations. So that's every
across every platform
of their drone platform is getting layoffs in that area. But that also includes the Amazon headquarters in Seattle. So what does that tell you? That not only the blue collar guys are leaving,
yeah, Yeah.
But guys in administration positions are leaving.
Well, see, usually with a corporation, what happens first is
Mm-hmm.
they start limiting the blue collar and they start cutting down the hours
Right. The
of the
first
white
guy that
collar
they get
workers.
rid of is the guy that
Yeah.
sweeps the floor. I
Yeah,
know.
I've worked in retail and in corporate before, and that often does happen where the
Mm-hmm.
white collared workers and the guys who wear ties, like us supervisors, are told
Mm-hmm.
we have 5 supervisors, we're about to cut down to 3. Who
Well, you
wants to
see,
take severance pay? Who wants severance pay now and get out
uh,
early? You know what I'm saying?
well, if you
It's the
remember,
American way.
right, but if you remember when they had the layoffs before, what they do? They reassigned people.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
reassigned people, and some of those people who, like, okay, for instance, the guy, okay, there may be a department or a guy who's the head of a department who is in charge of the boxes that are going to be delivered in this drone,
Right.
right? So now after the layoffs, instead of that guy now being in behind a desk being in charge of that program, he's downstairs making sure that that box gets in the drone. So instead of having on a suit, he's got khakis and a shirt on now.
Yeah,
Listen,
true.
listen, I worked in construction, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest things in construction is how the layoff system works. You have a project that is going, and at this point of the project, when it's coming out of the ground, I don't need that many guys. I need the electricians there,
Mm-hmm.
and I need the guys that pour concrete. You understand?
Yeah.
I need the guys that's going to be able to, the carpenters and the
To
guys that's going to pour
to cover up
concrete.
the wiring, the sheet rockers.
Well, no, they're going to be able, the carpenters are the guys that build the form for the concrete, and
Right.
the
Oh, okay.
laborers. But the electricians have to be able to bring in your systems, your power and all that into your building. So they're there from the foundation build out of the building.
Right.
And as that goes on, we start bringing in more and more men because the building has to get going. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And as
Yeah.
it goes up, the workforce grows. And once that building gets to a certain point, I can start to slow the workforce down, because I don't need, because as the building is getting built up interior wise, the
Right.
rest of the building going up, as we get to a certain point, before we top off, I don't need to keep rushing more people in there to get it done interior wise till we get to the top and slow it down.
True.
You understand? Now,
Very
when I
true.
start the layoffs, I start in construction, they control how the layoff works. I don't know how all the other trades work, but I know in the electricians, it's, you get your 2/3 of your workforce. You got to start letting the guys that were there already from the guys that came in afterwards. And, it's not that the last to come, first to go. It doesn't usually work that way. It can in certain places, but it doesn't usually work that way. But that's neither here nor there. But that's actually basically how that works, and it happens all the time. So understanding and knowing how layoffs and stuff like that work in some of these corporations,
Mm-hmm.
not to say that it is exactly the same, but
Right.
you had layoffs in this, that, like I said, at the headquarters, and half their team at and was it Pembleton, Oregon?
Okay.
Yeah, half the team was let go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
That's.
but here's the thing, and this is why I'm like I said, they get to a certain plateau, and they realize this. Like I said, they made a lot of money coming out of the pandemic. We're going into it during the pandemic. Coming out of the
Right.
pandemic, maybe not so much, because people going back to work and they're not impulse shopping while they're home and stuff like that. You notice that, like, I'm not picking, but it happens, and I know for a fact that like when you have like sometimes you have people who are like home and they have money, QVC and all that other stuff like that seems to be like their candy store, and the UPS and them are at the house every day. So coming out of the pandemic, not so much, right? So I think Amazon whoa, Glenn Levitt.
What happened?
No, I said Amazon. It's Amazon.
Okay. All right.
So yeah. So no, yeah. Basically, coming out of the pandemic, I don't think so much. So
hey, recovery. What's up?
So with that being said, they haven't. Okay, listen. One thing I said like this: they didn't say no with this destroying the whole project there, but are they gonna put any more of their profits into their program, into their drone delivery program? Do you think?
I would tend to believe
a priority? Is it a priority still?
Now that may be a different story. I may not think that is so much a priority, but now that they have an actual working drone, even if they don't use it for themselves, they can sell that drone and that technology to someone else.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but this part of what was abandoned was plans for more testing sites and for a new drone design. So see when I say that, so I look at it, was that part? Does that mean that they're not gonna invest in it anymore?
Right. Happy birthday, Charles Hatmaker.
Happy birthday.
It's his birthday today. I saw it on Facebook. Actually, it was yesterday. I'm sorry. Happy belated. It was yesterday. But happy birthday, brother.
Man, it's still the same month, man. Happy birthday.
Acquisition and predictive analytics. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And I look at it and I say to myself, well, they haven't said let's get rid of it, let's scrap it before it gets too bad. They said because they, like I said, they didn't get rid of it, so they're not planning. They're gonna still continue it because they said they're gonna continue it. They're still gonna continue it in College Station in Texas and Lockford, California. They didn't say they were gonna abandon. They said they were gonna continue it. So and then in another report I was looking at, there with the CEO said that that the cut and the reduction in the workforce was necessary, in looking at what the needs of the customer and the overall health of the company. So this is like I said, companies look at it like this. I have this right here, and I want to sell it. And if I can sell it and make this much, I'm good. You understand? But if I can make this much,
well, you
understand? And I can put all of that away,
Herman,
for myself.
Yes.
God forbid I need to go into it to take care of this. No, we don't do that. Some big corporations don't do that. We gotta get rid of the guy that sweeps the floor.
Right. But
I'm not giving up my bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that.
Get rid of you guys.
That's
get
true.
Rid of my bonus and get rid of you guys.
And I get rid of you guys. My bonus goes.
Get rid of him until you get my bonus money. You keep going until you get my bonus money.
Yeah.
Keep laying them off till you get my bonus money. No, all jokes aside, seriously, that's exactly what these companies do. They start cutting once the money start getting a little tight.
Oh, Barkley says he blames Sean Geeks Vana. I blame the economic slowdown on the UK, making drone flying more restrictive, thus resulting in declining sales. Sean Geeks Vana. Barkley's got issues.
Okay, Barkley.
What's up, Sean? How are you, man? Geeksbon
Okay.
is here. That's why he was saying it.
What's up, Sean? No, I just look at it and I say, with listen, people went back to work, and I think Amazon is they got to a certain point where they needed to be, and they're not rushing into anything new with, like I said, with nobody knows where this drone thing is going to be in 2 years. We only have ideas and what they've put forth. So Amazon doesn't want to continue to keep putting money into a project that they don't want to expand. You remember when the city bike, like, I wish somebody would have told them that.
Yeah.
Expand.
Stop. Yeah, that city bike was such a bad idea.
Oh God.
The streets of New York City metropolitan
Sometimes I want to rent a truck and just run
John
things over.
What's up, John Coopy?
Just flatten them. They keep on going, but there's a camera everywhere.
It's true. You can't get away with it.
No, seriously. Like, I just think that they've reached a certain place, and I think they might have gotten to their logistics right, and they got everything to where they need to be, and they're maybe ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to keep spending money because we hired people to get all of this done, and
well, now that they're getting everything done,
and the pandemic caused us to strut our stuff a little bit because we paid a little bit of money, and now people went back to work. So
sometimes to stay in the green, Herman, you have to make cuts to stay in the green.
Right, but I get that, but don't get rid of the guy that sweeps the floor. Just change the toilet paper.
True.
Take a little bit less on your bonus.
I feel Amazon is merely establishing the network just in case drone delivery does take off down the road. Well, this is what I agree.
That's what they're doing.
I agree.
And they don't want to abandon it completely. What you saying?
Right. That's what I was meaning by, in the event that they do not take that direction, they can still sell a whole infrastructure, a drone infrastructure. They have their own UTM capability. I'm able to adapt. They have a drone that delivers and takes off and returns home and flies autonomously. So it's like a flick of a switch. We can flick the switch, cut off the light in that room for now, and focus on other stuff. And then when we're ready, send someone in the room and cut the light on.
Well, if drone delivery,
exactly, Barkley, they're already making
delivery doesn't take off, right? I'm looking at that Amazon drone there, right? And I'm like, what can we do with that? Like, the kids could actually play with that in the backyard. They can ride on that thing.
Stop.
No, because you're talking about drone. If drone delivery doesn't take off, it's not going to fly for anyone. So drone delivery is going to take off. It has to take off. I don't think that it's going to be as major as people think, because, like I said, Sal's Pizzeria cannot afford to fly pizza to your house at the cost that he sells a pie for.
At $13 to $20 a pie.
How much are they going to pay a drone company to deliver these pies?
Yeah. Because right now they're not cheap.
So when you start getting into it, you have companies like Flytrex and them that's all involved in these type of things. They're the ones that are involved in the food part of it. They're not involved in mom and pop spots, your local places and stuff like that. You're still gonna have to wait for the guy in the bike or the guy in the car for what you want. Pizza Hut as a conglomerate could probably hire something like that, but not the local franchise.
Right, where it's cost effective, right.
Right.
Not your local.
I can't see it happening. I'm not renewing my 107 to fly pizzas for some dude. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm out there with a smoke break with my drone sitting in the box with the guy with his scooter over there. We on a smoke break together, right?
No, I hear you. I hear you.
I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing it.
We will see how it turns out. Right now, like I said, honestly, hey, welcome back, Johnny Drone Flyer.
I don't see the drone delivery going that way. So
I don't either.
I can see cargo and moving stuff like medical supplies. Like what's actually happening and what we talk about to come. But honestly, the thing that I do see happening is the some of the eVTOLs, the personal the passenger vehicle stuff like that, because that's just a replacement for helicopters.
Yeah, you're right.
That I do see happening.
Hold on. It's almost never about staying in the green. Did you guys know that the Tim Cook took a self-imposed voluntary pay cut and Apple has not laid anyone off, despite the fact that many tech peers cut many? I amen this drone ops. I did have an idea of what was happening over there. Tim Cook took a pay cut, and I want to point this out because and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but the way it goes here in America is if you have a business,
right,
and you can declare something as a loss, you kind of make it up later on at the end of the year when you get taxes or pay taxes at the end of that year. So by saying that, I'm just saying you take a pay cut, but you still get that money back. $49 million, you get it back in another way.
As a newbie, and from listening and to people talk at me, there are things that can be done. How extensive? I can't even reach the magnitude of that.
Hey, Angie.
There are things that can be done. Hey, Angie, what's going on? And I don't. And from what he's mentioning, I can layman's term it down to you and understand. If you remember when San Antonio in basketball went on their run and when they had all those championships with Tim Duncan and those guys and the Admiral, and why did that happen? Because all of those guys could have left or demanded more money and end up getting traded anyway. But they all decided to take pay cuts for years to keep the team together, to continue to win championships until they got old. When Popovich had them over there, who could stop them? You remember those San Antonio years?
Yeah, you're right. They went out like troopers.
It's basically the same thing.
I get it. It's just
when he's talking about him taking a pay cut, and a lot of companies should think about that, because, like, seriously, this is, I mean, I'm going to go that route, but to say if you had all the money in the world, then how much is it worth?
Right.
For all the money in the world to be worth anything, I need for somebody else to have at least $1.
Makes sense.
All my money is not worth shit.
True. That's true. If you have all of it and nobody else does, what good is it? I get that. I get totally what you're saying.
What do I do with it?
I do get that. That's like the famous Twilight Zone. There was a guy, little bookworm, and all he wanted to do was read. And he had a pair of glasses, and something happened. He was in a bank.
I can tell you what happened. I can tell you exactly. I remember that episode.
Yes, that's a classic example.
Yeah, right. Well, anyhow, he was the only person left on Earth, and he had all the books and all the time in the world to read all of the books.
Yeah,
but he broke his glasses, and now he can't see shit. And he has no one around to be able to get a new pair of glasses to be able to even read those books.
Yep. And he has all the time in the world and every book in the world to read. Yeah. So
what good is it now?
Yeah, I had to bring that analogy up, because then people revert to the barter system. Barkley, back then, barter system
was the people who have no money, but the guy who has all of the money, what does he do?
Barter for more money.
With who? He has all of
Well,
it.
yeah, that's true. If he has all of it, yeah, that's kind of hard.
So chasing all the money in the world makes no sense. Sometimes you got to know when to say when.
True.
But I mean,
True.
I guess it's easier said for a guy who comes from the working class that has to work for us.
Right. But see, I'm
And
one of
doesn't
these
have
people.
100 billion people working for him.
But see, I'm the kind of person, Herman, where somebody wants to win, hit the mega millions or the mega ball, it's
That
400
doesn't
something
happen.
million, hit 400 something million. I'm happy with 500,000. I'm happy with 1 million. I don't need 426 million to fucking be happy. It would be nice.
Are they giving $426 million away?
No,
I'm just
because
saying.
after taxes,
No, I'm just saying, are they giving that away?
hell
If that's what
no.
they're giving away, give me every penny of it.
Oh yeah,
I got a
yeah.
lot of friends and family to take care of.
Exactly. I could put some people to work who want to work.
Right. How they said we moving on up. No, but Amazon Prime, is this Prime thing, is it a priority anymore?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. And
I wouldn't say
until
I wouldn't
another
say
company comes up, another company like Amazon comes up and gives them competition, just like Ortel and these companies giving DJI competition, then
well,
right now they have no competition.
when you say they have no competition, what do you mean?
Well,
Because there are other companies.
another major logistical company, say UPS came up out of nowhere and started an online store and started selling stuff like Amazon, and they have warehouses around the world.
Well, that's just because they don't have an online store.
True.
But there are other companies that are doing this.
Yeah, I know. There's Alibaba, there's AliExpress, there's a bunch of them around.
we got you. Okay, you have, like I said, you have Flytrex and them. The thing is
Yeah,
pairing the drone company with the people who handle the food side of it. So you got Kohl's and these other stores that are having the same drone thing going on.
right.
They just have another drone airline that's doing it. Amazon wants their own drone.
Yeah, I know. They want to cut out the
You
delivery
see what I'm
man.
saying to you?
Yeah, they want to cut out the delivery man. That
So
saves money.
some of these other companies have like Speedbird, Arrow, and all those. They have, and we talk about other companies. They have their other drone airlines, like what was it? Matternet is the drone airline that's working for UPS. That's how that was working. But Amazon wants their own drone, and they, like I said, this whole scrapped the plans for a new drone that they were planning, and there's a lot of them. But it is.
They went through a lot of stuff to get to this point now,
and I really believe that that's what hit them. Going through the pandemic, they were make the money.
Yeah, they were eating lovely.
They were like,
yeah.
And then now people are going back to work. So like, wait a minute. Whoa.
Yeah, because they were already making hundreds of millions, and they went from making hundreds of millions to almost $1 billion plus easy during the pandemic.
And I really think a lot of things happened. They got to a certain point with this thing, and they've met that. Listen, you got College Station and you got Lockford, California.
Right.
You're gonna keep all these people, and you're not selling nation in the United States wide like you were pandemic wide. So like I said, I think that's what it is. And they've reached a point where they've gotten to a certain point. They just reassign some of these people because that's what they've been doing. And this is the second cut, right?
Amazon
usually comes in threes, right?
Yep, usually comes in threes. Yeah.
Right.
So there's one more cut for them to make.
No, but think about it. Think about this really hard, right? Since we've been talking about this, since Amazon mentioned this, right, or before Amazon and during this time, and just Pepsi, Ford, and H&M, right, announced the same nonsense about cuts in their workforce. So it happens with all of these companies. This is what they do. They bounce people around to when it's time for the next phase, and then they'll bring some people back in, and then maybe the guy that you embarrassed and moved him from telling the guy to move that box to being the guy that moves that box.
Yeah.
Give him back his job.
Yeah, for real.
You know, I don't know. Listen.
We will see where it goes.
I'm just gonna make jokes out of it because to me,
you can joke about it because think about it.
I know how. Like I said, I know how it works.
Think about it. Like you said, during the pandemic, Amazon was one of the only companies, few companies, and I could think on the top of, and on my hand, how many companies that actually profited during COVID. And now that everyone's going back to work,
companies that profited during COVID.
No, I know there were a few. We're not going to go into the medical thing because that's a whole different worm.
No, seriously, because there's a lot of companies that profited. Like I mentioned during the beginning of this, Zoom.
Yep.
The need for something like that took off during the pandemic because people were home. And that's the main factor right there. People were home. People are out more now. It's okay. Anybody that's been a Raiders fan since understand what I'm talking about. Anybody that's a Raiders fan. Raiders been in the Los Angeles Coliseum. Los Angeles got such good weather. People got so much other things to do. Maybe I'll go to the ball game. Maybe we won't. And the Raiders been trying to find a home. But you put UCLA versus USC in that state in the Coliseum, people are on the street trying to get a ticket. But the Raiders, not so much.
True.
Certain things is you got when you got choices. You got choices.
Must be nice.
What, having choices?
Having choices, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, no, seriously, because I feel that that's one of the main things that hurt them, that hit them, was that the money slowed down after the people started going back to work. People were home, they were purchasing. If you thought that you bought a little bit too much, how much did the other guy buy?
Listen, during COVID, there couldn't have been a cardboard shortage because there was so much cardboard in the hallways and in garbages from you know what I'm saying? I had a mountain at one time during the pandemic. I had a mountain of cardboard boxes that was bigger than the boxes coming in. Because you say, all right, I'm going to break this box down. I'm going to break that box down. And then you wind up putting them in a small pile. And then before you know it, the damn pile grows. Look at your neighbor. She must have wall-to-wall cardboard lining now on her walls and her ceilings. Your neighbor. That's why you laughed.
We're dreaming that, but that's not why. That's not why they keep moving. They keep moving because they can't sell out a stadium.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
People got too many choices. Maybe I go to the beach. Maybe I go to the game.
Could you imagine? But getting back to Amazon,
maybe I hang out on my boat. Maybe I go to the game.
This is true. Very, very true. But anyway, I wanted to talk about something.
What?
That DJI is doing.
What?
They have a new solution that helps find missing people faster. That, unless you didn't want to go into that yet.
No, because we had a whole. I thought I had given you the direction.
You did, but I took it down.
Oh. No, because
they come to the game. They come to the list. Hold on, Draymond says they come to the game lit and stay drunk during and after the game.
But Draymond, Draymond, that's every game in the country. I hate to tell you that. That's why I think some of the country started adapting what Denver realized, because they did a study that Denver had the least amount of fights during the tailgating in their parking lot and during their games. And what they believed the reason for it was the bar down the street from the stadium, where they've noticed that both opposing team fans hang out at this bar. This bar does not serve alcohol in no way, shape, or form. This bar is strictly for socializing and for puff, puff, pass. And for those of you who are familiar with 420, you are familiar with how this bar operates. And this is why they don't have so many fights they believe, in their parking lot during the tailgating and in the stadium.
Really?
Yeah, they did a whole report on this. I saw this on a news report, and
that's real interesting.
It was amazing that they showed that both opposing teams in their people in jerseys just buying different, sampling, and because in this bar you just sample and keep it moving and purchase, have a good time, and listen, put a couple of steaks on the grill and everybody can relax.
Right.
But and I guess the beer goes down a little easier that way, or a little bit less.
True.
But anyway, moving right along, Lawrence, we talk about drones of all kinds, and we've mentioned passenger drones, and we talk about some of the cargo drones. And we mentioned this one guy here from Pipistrel, the Nuuva V300. We mentioned this for the first time back when we had Ash on. You remember Ash?
Yes, yeah, I do remember Ash.
Those guys, 76. Whoa, that was way.
Wow.
That seems like 100 years ago. But
it does, right?
Yeah, Pipistrel, right? They have the Nuuva V300. Oh, got
go ahead.
Sound on there. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the what is this? Lobos leasing and Air Taurus. They're basically working on the humanitarian logistics with specialists with logistics specialist AYR Logistics Limited. They have entered into a letter of intent to lease 5 Pipistrel Nuuva V300 hybrid VTOL cargo UAVs. They will their plan is to cooperate in developing a leasing model. So basically they're going to have a lease plan with this.
So Nuuva. That's crazy. Just the same way you lease a car or a truck or a boat, or a plane. Basically,
so I guess Pipistrel and them will handle all of the maintenance and stuff like that on the aircraft. So Lobos Leasing, like I said, has entered into a letter of intent with Pipistrel for 15 of the Nuuva V300 aircraft. Now they did this earlier this year. I don't know how much earlier this year was, but I guess a few weeks ago.
Right.
And this is targeted towards the program that they have to it, the Nuuva 300. So like I said, they're gonna handle all of the I guess the maintenance on this thing.
Yeah. By leasing, you handle maintenance at runtime, all of that.
Right.
In
So
fact, it covers infrastructure and everything.
right, so they're gonna
Adaptable.
get the first units going out to air tours between 2025 and 2026. So the
Yes.
drone
The
industry is
first
moving
five.
rapidly because yeah, that's the first five, right?
You're right, Draymond. That it's not small. It definitely is not small. This is
No, it's
what
not
we
because
talk. Go
yeah.
ahead with the specs.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on with it first, and then I'll get into the specs of it because
Okay.
the Air Tours, as their plans is to deploy this thing, like I told you, it was a humanitarian operation. Their plan is to deploy this drone in AYR's global humanitarian operations. They want to be, I guess, one of the few to revolutionize the ability to move critical needed cargo like food and medical
Food
supplies.
and rations and whatever
Right.
may be needed.
Exactly. And they're doing this. Their plan is to do this across areas with poor ground infrastructure, because that's where drones are most needed. To be able to move this in. This thing is a hybrid propulsion system that includes electric motors. Now, the electric motors are for the lift and the fuel efficiency.
Yes.
Yeah, they have
Yes.
a FATEC IC power plant. For those who you don't know, the FDAEC FATEC is a fuel authority, a full authority digital engine management management control system
What
that
they're using for push. So they're basically using
for
the
this thing,
electrical systems
right?
props
For
to
their
lift it.
cruise
Yeah.
speed. So you're
Okay.
talking about a drone that is going to be developed with a approximate cruise speed of about 120 knots, with a capacity of something like about 600 and roughly about 661 pounds, because they say something about 300 kilograms. You know, with a the maximum range that this thing will travel is about 186 miles.
Yeah, as in answer to you, Ray of Sunshine, you're saying how much bigger this particular drone is actually the size of a small school, an average size school bus, but it's the cargo area that
Yeah,
takes up all the space. If you look at the
they
video,
can fit 3 skids. So imagine what 3 skids of merchandise looks like.
right, I'm
Three
gonna
wrap
pull it back
skids
up. I'm gonna pull it back up again, and there's a piece that shows size comparison next to
to
a
a
man.
human.
Yes, so you
Yeah,
figure the size of a small school bus or truck. It looks big and humongous here, but when they get to the part where they show size comparison, it's right
it's
here.
capable of landing where
If
a
this is an
helicopter can
average
land.
forklift, right? If this is an average size, say 2,300 pound forklift, and I used to drive them, propane powered. Like Herman said, these particular skids right here, you may be able to put two in. But if you figure the average width of a skid is maybe 5 feet by 5 feet,
If that.
if that, right? That you could probably fit about three of those in here. So right here, you're showing, well, we're in the way, but you see a man standing right here.
Mm-hmm.
So it is big, but in comparison to what we fly, yeah, it is
Yeah, it
big.
is
But
big. Yeah. Well, we
this
fly
is the
is
kind of
be like the
stuff,
size of the wheel on that the forklift.
right? This is the stuff that we need. It can take off anywhere, it can land anywhere.
Yeah, and
So
anywhere a helicopter can land.
yes, yes, definitely anywhere a helicopter can land. Now, loading and unloading may be a little different.
Well, the nose cone opens up and you pull your stuff out.
True.
Listen,
True.
I bring it to the tailgate, bro. How you get it inside is your business.
I got you. I hear
So,
what you're saying.
that's what the truck drivers tell you, right?
But that's true. That's true.
Bring it to the
But that's
tailgate.
actually called,
How you get
that's
it
actually,
inside is your business.
right. Instead of an eVTOL, that's an HEVTOL, H for heavy.
If you want to call
So,
it that, but I know it's a
well,
hybrid.
well,
So
yeah, I guess you could add that too, a hybrid
it is a
eVTOL.
hybrid,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Lobos uh,
Leasing.
leasing, yeah, is committed to this project and partnership to develop the and financial solution to supporting what's this company here? AYR's crucial
Yeah.
humanitarian mission to be
Well,
able
listen,
to get food and medical supplies. That seems to be the way of where you're going to see delivery drones
doing
used
most of the work.
mostly, unless it's some kind of a franchise or major corporation. I don't think
Right.
that small businesses can absorb the cost.
Oh
I don't
no,
think small businesses can absorb
your
the cost.
average Joe down the block isn't going to say, "Yo, I need this skid here, stat." You understand? This,
Well,
I'm pretty sure
even
companies.
no, even still, like I don't foresee. I don't foresee, and not even going in that big. I just don't foresee that on a smaller company being able to absorb the cost of having drone
I
delivery.
agree because just leasing, and you're just leasing
Right.
one.
Well, that's right, and all of them would be leasing. All of it would be leasing. Can you what are you going to? Okay, let me my lazy ass needs to order a plain Neapolitan cheese pizza. All right, let me
I know where
let me
you're going, but go ahead.
and let me get an order of buffalo wings. How the hell much are you going to charge me for
Right.
this pizza to make up the cost of what it's going to cost you to have this drone airline deliver
At
these things?
at $20 a pie, and the side of wings.
$20,
What?
$20 for a Neapolitan. I'm coming down there and get it myself.
Well, the average pizza pie in New York goes from $17 to $20, depending on where you go. Just the average pie. So you're talking Neapolitan.
I'm gonna go holler at some of these guys and let them know that Laura said you can make more money on the pie.
Y'all charging too little?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because okay,
it's
all right. The guy up the street from me,
yeah,
that
he's not going to cut that cost.
He'll never have drone delivery pizza. Nah, that's garbage. That pizza,
yeah, right.
I'm not
That
giving it to the dog.
The pizza that came by the guy in a little car is garbage compared to the one that just landed in my backyard, right? That's what you're saying?
No, the pizza up the street from me is trash. I can't give that to nobody. Well, up the street from here, I can't give that to nobody.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Well, hopefully Lobo Leasing, not hopefully, but Lobo Leasing is already making money on the deal because they have.
I mean, they got them. They sharing them.
They have 5 of 15 that were ordered. They're going to fulfill from 2025 to 2026.
Well,
that's not a bad deal. That's not even. We don't even know if the world will be here then, and they've got them shit sold. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Where's it going?
Well, I hope nowhere, but I
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying to you that they got a plan ahead for what they're doing, and this is, I say, the drone industry, they're looking into when regulatories and restrict and certain things come to a head, because It's going to
Everything should be
eventually
flying
have
by
to,
then.
and I'm hearing like 24 because remember everybody's pushing for 24 games for the 24 games.
For the 24 Olympics, yes.
Hopefully, the FAA is on board with 24.
Yeah, I know, right?
For
Can
their
you
dreams to
imagine?
come through. True, I should say.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm hoping
When
that
the
the I'm hoping that the FAA is ready in 2024. I mean, I just ordered a tool bag from Amazon and I will get it tomorrow. How do they do that? Because they have
because of the
warehouses near you.
warehouses in the area.
Yes, depending on the warehouse and what's in that warehouse. Like in Manhattan, Stephen
Mhm.
Drones, in Manhattan, you can order from Amazon and get it in less than 24 hours,
Let me see if I could
depending on the item.
let me see if I
Depending on
could
the item.
explain this to you how Amazon is trying to do certain things. Like for instance, instead of like, okay, you might if you lived within that 1 mile area of in one of these areas that they're doing this trial thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you lived in the 1 mile area of the hub, that the warehouse area that is distributing to your neighborhood,
Right.
a lot of the products that they have with Amazon, like I said this earlier in the stream, and you go on Amazon, you'll notice that Amazon has, let's take the remote. That item is on Amazon and it is being sold by Joe Schmo, but is being shipped by Amazon, which means
Right.
that let's say if I'm Joe Schmo, all of my remotes over at the Amazon warehouse. In certain areas, the Amazon has the stock that I get. My stock goes to Amazon, so Amazon can ship them to where they have to go.
Right.
You understand? Now,
Mm-hmm.
the smaller guys will ship their own stuff.
Right. But
You see this?
Amazon will pick it
Amazon
up.
is just brokering the deal.
Right. Amazon will pick it up.
So that stuff now has to go to Amazon and then get shipped out.
Yes. So when you order
Unless that
something,
guy is shipping it himself, like how I had the tragedy with the
the
with the
freezer.
freezer. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, that was a clusterfuck of that was just crazy.
Yeah.
I live out in the country less than 24 hours.
Wow.
It really
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Right.
It,
We have the same thing here.
Yeah, we have the same thing here. There are certain things that right now I can go on Amazon. It'll tell me if I order within the next 2 hours, I could have it tomorrow,
Right.
depending on what that item is.
Because they
So,
have it in a hub warehouse somewhere within the area.
right.
If they had to wait for it to come
Then you
into
might
the
have to wait
area,
that 2
then you got
days.
to wait the 2 days.
Yeah. And then, Amazon also has those third-party
Talking
vendors
about that,
yeah.
they delivered the cables for the printer.
Oh, wow. Are you serious?
Yeah. So
And
we're printing now.
good, good. Oh, that's right. That's what's up.
We're
The
printing.
office needed a new
We're
printer.
printing now.
That's what's up. It is fast. And like I said, Stephen Drones, here in New York, if you live on the island of Manhattan
Just
and
got
you
it.
order something between, I think it's 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., you can get it in less than 24 hours, depending on that item. But they have warehouses that are so full and constantly taking in merchandise from across the United States. Now they don't take in everything, Stephen Drones. They deal by like local stores, they deal by region. They know in this region there may be a certain amount of electronics or items that are sold. So they would keep those items in that warehouse, hoping that more people buy them locally, right, Erman? That's pretty
Right.
much how
But
it goes.
what also happens is, like I said, you look on there and you'll see there's other sellers that are selling the same product, but it's being shipped by Amazon. So his stock has to get to Amazon for Amazon to ship it out.
Glad you made it home safe. Jody was out plowing. Amazon isn't paying for Jeff Norman says Amazon isn't paying for the products they warehouse, correct, until
Right.
30 days after they sell it. So now think about
That's a
what
lot
what
of
I just
that's a lot of companies.
right.
I remember when I was in electrical supplies, and one of the roughest things to do is to tell a customer we can't send you any more products because you haven't paid your bills.
Right.
We got
It's
30
always
days.
bad business.
We got 30 days to pay ours, but you got 60 days to pay yours.
Mm-hmm.
That math don't compute.
I know.
So, but
I
in the
know.
world of Amazon, it's a little different. It's cash and carry.
Pretty much.
So Amazon win.
Yeah. 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 And that's how it's done pretty much. Now, as far as and this is funny because in some places they have so many warehouses, you really don't have to have Amazon Prime. Because they're so close, you'll get it in a day or two any damn way.
Really?
I've had that before. I had Amazon Prime in the other multiverse, Herman, I used to live in. In that multiverse, I didn't have Prime, and I would order stuff and Amazon would get it to me in 2 to 3 days, which is the same as US Postal, depending on the company.
Okay.
I'm not saying don't have Amazon Prime because I like Amazon Prime Video. I like the fact that they tell me if I order something now, I could have, if I order it in the next 2 hours, I could have it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I like that stuff. Amazon right now, they have no competition to do that except
Sure
the
they do.
smaller Joe.
Sure they do. Those other companies just aren't doing as well.
As much. True. That's true.
Wayfair.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
If Wayfair decided to get up off their ass and do the same the magnitude as
exactly, Jeff.
as Amazon, they could do good business. Like for instance, a lot of people know Costco's, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think most people have heard of
familiar with Costco right? Or BJ's.
Well, but not a lot of people are familiar with BJ's.
Right, and they do the same thing as Costco.
They do the same thing, right?
Yeah, you're right. But a lot of people have
here in
Costco.
Here in New York,
that's crazy.
Find more BJ's than you will find.
It's same thing as I think YouTube is effing up, Herman.
You'll find more BJ's, but you will Costco's, and they got more products than Costco's.
Look at this. You see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
It's just now showing the Pipistrel video, but the chat is in real time.
Just refresh it.
I did. Watch what happens.
Refresh it. Just refresh
it. I am. Watch what happens. The Pipistrel video. Oh, it caught up. Wow.
This is good. All right.
Taking a while
but
for
you
the
know
chat.
What we didn't do, and we're like 2 behind.
I saved some.
Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those Guys. Salute to everyone. We appreciate you all.
We're not leaving.
It'll be interesting, Herman, to see the V300 flying around. It'll be interesting to see if Amazon stays in the drone game and maybe they'll sell their
honestly
their
platform. And this is going to sound crazy to you, Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I might have told you this before. The only thing that I'm really interested in seeing with these delivery drones,
the highways.
No.
What?
To see if one of these fools will try to chase it with their drone.
oh, you know it's coming, Herman.
You know it's coming.
There will be some fool out there that says,
you won't be able to.
You're right.
You won't be able to, and I'll tell you why. If understanding how I understand
how UTMs work,
right? You can pass through the corridor, but if you try to run in the corridor, it'll just push you out of the corridor.
Exactly.
It'll just keep you away from it. Mm-hmm. You can't ride in it with those other drones that are delivering.
And thus the story that we did with it.
You can pass through it, over it, under it, You understand? Even regular
Right, but to
NAS
stay
players
in
can
it,
pass
no.
through it. But to hang out in it and try to ride with other things, is just gonna push you out of that.
Yeah, I believe that also because that also goes back to the story we did about 2 or 3 weeks ago pertaining to the FAA using the five gigahertz frequency to limit it for delivery drones, for search and rescue, for
Right.
consumer. So that way, there's
Trust
no
me,
way
the
in.
day is the day is gonna come where um Wednesday night and Sunday night with those guys, one is gonna tie in with the last story when this all comes to fruition, and you're gonna understand what we've been talking about all along.
Oh, Tony says, hold on. Tony says, which FPV drone is going to get pushed out electronically? Electronically, it probably will hit that
Oh,
wall
really?
or go
You
into
don't
that wall and lose its signal completely.
it,
I
okay.
see that happening, Tony. It's
Okay, Tony.
because whether you have whether you have an FPV drone with remote ID or not, trust me, any electronic device that would be entering or exiting that corridor, that drone corridor, will be monitored. They'll be able to see
They'll
where
be
it
able to see
entered,
it.
what speed it's traveling, and it'll probably fall out of the sky. At least that's what I'm guesstimating.
Well, I don't know if it'll fall out of the sky, but they'll be able to see it.
Yeah, they'll definitely be able to see it
And
because
they'll
they will see
um
everything that's in that corridor.
from okay, like take Altitude Angel, for instance. And this is why when I told you
I'm
about
looking.
what
What episode did
Bruce,
we do where we had that video, Herman?
like when I
Do you
told you about
remember?
not offhand. I'll tell you about what Bruce was saying. And I told you we talked about in the other story about the license spectrum and how all of this ties together. And it talking about what Altitude Angel was talking about having what do you call it? Subscription with the UTM
Mm-hmm.
when you authorize flights.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the next thing. How that's going to trickle down to the layman, the guy who is trying to use this. So I said to you, it's a whole new show, and I don't want to get into it right now because that's probably going to come up next week because we're supposed to have Billy Kyle back on the show again. He was here
Yes. Yes.
years ago.
Yes.
He was here with us years ago, and we haven't had him back in a long time because he's been busy and we've been doing our
Yeah.
own thing.
He's
And
been busy since we've
we're
had him on. He's
supposed to
gotten
have him back
engaged, I
on. I
think.
see that he's doing a lot of things, and he's now around, and we're gonna have him back on the show to discuss a couple of things because, like I said, this is an ever loving, evolving situation and conversation that can continue forever. And we're gonna have him. Well, he's supposed to be here with us next week, and we're gonna talk with him on where is this drone industry going in the next 2 years? Not only just for the consumer drones,
Yeah.
but for the guys, the small guy that wants to operate with his 107, and not just these big companies that are gonna want to fly drones in our airspace and
Well, you
everyone's
know what?
airspace.
You know what? It's going to be real interesting because once these UTMs are introduced in 2024
Mm-hmm.
and you have drone corridors
Mm-hmm.
and you will only be able to fly in a FRIA if you have a 250 class or less.
I see. That's
I
what I'm
want
talking
to
about.
see what happens
That's
to the
another
first guy
show.
who gets caught flying
That's another
outside.
show because see, and now you can say it, but I'm just saying that's another show because, like I
Yeah,
told you,
yeah.
I watched the drone industry since I've gotten into this, 7 years ago,
We old timers in
almost
this
8 years
game.
ago. I watched the drone industry do this.
And come back around the circle, full
And we're
circle.
right back where we started from.
Yeah.
Guys argued about being aircraft. Oh, we're not aircraft. We're not aircraft. You're aircraft. You're not aircraft. Not about land. Not about land. You're an aircraft. Now you want to be aircrafts. Okay, so now you're aircraft. Go fly in the yard where we told you to fly from 7-8 years ago. You can fly over there. Unless you
Right.
got your 107, you're operating under part 107. And now you got to register your drone. And you got and not only got to register your drone, you got to get insurance. You got to get all of it. So it's a whole lot of things involved. And
And most of you guys out there saying, all I want to do is fly and take a few pictures. Well, if you want to
it
do
makes
that,
no sense to buy a $3,000 drone to take some
if you're
pictures
going
in
to
the
fly
same
in a
damn
Freer.
Freer.
Yep, I agree. It makes no difference to have this baby right here if you're only going to use
now
it
look at him.
to
See, that's
fly
that.
in a
See, look at
circle.
him peacocking. He peacocking now. He peacocking now. It makes no
Stop,
sense to have all of these feathers if you go just fly in the yard.
All right, I'm gonna put my drone back down,
He
man.
peacock.
It doesn't make sense if you're doing it for a living, then okay. But for you guys that just want to fly, you'll be able to fly with restriction. With restrictions. That's all. You've been complaining, oh, when Lance came, Lank, whatever you want to call it. Oh, they're not going to, and I said this a million times, you're not going to tell me how to fly, how high to fly my drone. You're not going to be able to tell me when to take off. Well, 20 million people across the United States beg to differ.
No, but Jeff, seriously, that's it has taken a complete circle back to where we started from.
Yeah.
You know, God, they got like before. The Parks Department directed everyone who wanted to fly drones to specific parks.
Mm-hmm.
Guy said, I'm not an aircraft. I'm not a model aircraft. I want to fly out there. I don't want to fly in the yard. Well, guess what?
Right. I don't want to fly in the circle.
You want sub 250, you don't want to register, get in the park and fly. Get in the field over there.
As soon as you that little
makes
circle,
no sense to spend $1,500, $3,000 on a drone to fly over there in the same circle.
Exactly, Tony. Why do you buy a Porsche that can do 180 in fifth gear if you never plan on
fly
going
over there in the park? No, but
it's true.
Seriously, thinking about, honestly, some of the things that we talk about, and we talk about every damn thing that got to do with drones.
We try to.
Oh well, yeah, I don't think we. There's a couple of shows we haven't turned over, but
Tony's living in his house. Tony's probably dropped his drink by now.
What would you do? What do you think about a device, right, or a modular that you could put on your drone or your application, right, that can help you or that could use radio signals to help you find missing people?
You know what? If that's in the line of work that we do, I would love to be involved.
Well, check this out. They claim that New York
Blind Neil.
New York base, right?
Thank you, Scott.
Right, Flyhound Corporations.
Yes,
they happen to have a thing that they've developed that supposedly within 30 minutes, within 50 meters, which it's 164 feet, which is not a lot of space, but it's enough. Which they happen to be graduates of the or from out of the NEC
laboratories.
Well, yeah, but we know it's the NEC, but
Woo! What's up, Mark Fisher?
They have an incubator program. They have
getting warm in here.
Glenn Levitt. Glenn Levitt is winning. No, they have an incubator program that they happen to be graduates of, and they've created this thing that uses they can use the signal from your cell phone.
Yes, you guys are gonna like this.
To be able to find people who are lost hikers, people who are missing. Now,
or in catastrophes.
Right, yeah, but what I like about it so much is that they don't even have to actually have an active working network to be able to find you.
Right, you don't need satellites.
Right. You don't have to actually Glenn Levitt. You don't actually happen to have an actual working satellite network. Yeah. Hold on a minute.
Please stand by. We're having technical difficulties.
Yeah, you don't need to have. You don't need to have an actual working satellite. No, damn. Cellular. Yeah, whatever, Lawrence. Go ahead. Finish.
Okay, here we go. With this device, you do not need a cell signal.
Yeah.
In fact, what's cool about this particular item,
Mm-hmm.
it works. Flyhound Corporation, New York-based company, Flyhound.
Yeah, I said that already.
Yeah, well, they have a device, a software that works with the DJI Phantom and Matrice drones.
Yeah, it
There
works on
are a
those
few.
two systems. Yeah.
There are a few other systems that they work on, but they're focusing on the DJI Phantom and Matrice series. And what this does is it allows you to use your drone. Now, you're listening closely, to use your drone to locate multiple missing people in the event of a flood, an earthquake, a building collapse. 9 out of 10 people, from what they claim, 9 out of 10 people carry their phone on them. And usually when major events happen, like earthquakes and stuff like that, I hear you, Mark. When events like that happen, people disappear, but their cell phones don't. And often their cell phones don't get destroyed. This
Right.
device, right, this device through DJI will allow you to do a search and rescue. I'm going to pull up a screen and I can go into more detail by explaining it this way.
Now, Lawrence, what I
Go
thought was
ahead.
interesting, the most interesting thing about this is
Go
that
ahead while I pull a screen
you
up.
don't actually have to have a live actual cell network.
A cell network. All you need is a connection.
They can get their they can get you through the whatever it is that the cell phone is actually doing.
Transmitting. It's transmitting.
It's transmitting, but that's why the search limit, they can narrow it down to a certain amount of feet.
Yes.
To where they can find you.
Now, this map here I'm explaining, this is the actual pilot here. It's in this scenario, this was supposed to be a landslide. This is, of course, Google, right? This is, of course, Google Maps before the landslide, but they don't have real-time photos. What this app actually does is through the DJI Smart Control, through the Matrice or the Phantom, each one of these circles is someone's cell phone signal. So if you can look, and this is the drone of the pilot, the drone pilot's here. This is the drone. In this immediate area, he picks up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, which makes it easier for search and rescue to find these people by these location markers. Well, if I explain that right, Herman.
Yes, you're right. But what the app actually can do is it can remove the actual noise that can occur from, say, like snow and stuff that can actually cover these people.
Right, and building debris, mud.
Right, and building it removes it from it. It basically it'll filter it out.
Exactly, but this
so
is
you can actually find them.
Right, but this is actually how it works. You would have a drone pilot in a distance, and because his drone is communicating, well, like Herman said, you do not need a hotspot, but because this drone is communicating with this radio, there is your network. Now, with this device from Flyhound and this app, you are able to pick up cell phone signals down to within feet of a person.
Yeah.
I think that's phenomenal. I would.
That's what the interface looks like.
Huh?
And that's what the interface looks like when you're looking at it.
Is the actual interface. So as a drone pilot, not only would you be able to do a search
it'll
and
remove
rescue,
radio noise that you get from like I said, from snow and like rain or whatever, like building debris and stuff like that.
Yes.
Food, garbage and stuff like that. It'll actually could be in the way. It'll remove that stuff so you can actually see.
Now, they claim that as first responders will be able to determine the location of people 100 times faster, because the first thing they have to do, usually search and rescue, is establish a communication link for themselves. But now they can get to a spot, send a drone up with this Flyhound app, and pretty much I'll bring it up again to show. I think it's a great device. I think it's a great app. I see a lot of uses for it. This
Well,
one
hopefully it
drone
won't ever be needed.
can rescue these people. They can tell them within feet of where the person is. This is the actual interface, shows in-flight UAV, the network between the drone, the app, and the actual pilot flying. And it says this is a DJI Matrice 600 Pro, battery's 98%, GPS is connected. Once the drone has GPS, yeah, you're good. You're good to go.
It's a big drone
Now,
for search and rescue.
you can actually use your drone for search and rescue. And Herman, it's that time.
Yeah, I know. I was going to tell you that.
I'm sorry. I really like this story.
No, I just thought it was interesting too. That's why I brought it up to you. I tried to save it for last because, it's with something like, like this that saves time and money and lives, then there will always be a need for it.
Exactly. Like Ray of Sunshine says, the remove radio noise would be awesome. Well, that helps in the event there's a landslide. An avalanche, perfect example. An avalanche, that cell phone is still transmitting. As long as it hasn't been smashed against a rock, it's going to still be transmitting.
Right, and if we can see where it is on the app without having the 10 miles of snow on top of you, then
yeah,
that's a beautiful thing. But yeah, there's some other shows coming on tonight, and I'm gonna step aside and let these guys have their time. But we appreciate you all coming on and hanging out with us and listening and discuss these topics with us. And listening to our opinion on them. Sometimes we like to have a little fun. We joke around here and there. Took a few jabs here at night from Glenn Levitt, but that's all right. It's all good. I kept my hand up. I kept on my stick. I was good. Thought I wanted to fight.
That's all right, bro. We keep on pushing. We keep on pushing. We keep on striving. Listen, you guys have a great evening. I'm gonna try and lurk 1 or 2 shows tonight. I need to go eat some food.
Yeah, me
and
too.
Tomorrow's another day, but we appreciate you all and thank you.
With that all being said, and Lawrence, I'm going to say to everyone, like I said before, we appreciate you all and thank you for coming and hanging out with us. And with that, Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those Guys.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Be safe out there.
Happy birthday to whoever's birthday it is.
Charles Hatmaker was his birthday.
Yes,
yesterday.
Yes. And if anybody else celebrating their birthday, happy birthday.
M Drone, keep getting in that stick time, bro. Mark Fisher, you're doing fine.
Mark Fisher. Yo, Mark, let me know when we can come up there again, man, and fly. I gotta get out, man. I gotta stretch my wings but it's gotta be when it's not windy. You guys got some lovely places to fly, and I want to do it when it's not windy. So, Mark,
I want to dive those cliffs over there by the fort, FPV too.
To come up there, let me know. We could plan something when it's not windy. You gotta get up there again.
Yeah, I want to dive those cliffs by that fort, FPV style. And you told me, dude went over the side and you thought he just like died down, then came up like, I want to do that.
All right.
I may lose a drone, but I want to do it. Later, guys.
Good night, everyone.